Hey guys, Keith here. Why should I smile? Why should you smile? Do you have a reason to smile? I bet you do. I bet you do. You may not feel like it all the time. Some days you just like, man, I don't feel like doing that. Even though they say it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. It doesn't seem like that some days because it seems like you got really force that smile, making teeth come out, But but yeah, it really it comes pretty natural if you really just think about life and a lot of things we can be thankful about. But anyway, let me tell you a little story, and then we'll talk about that a little bit more. Today, or actually yesterday, excuse me. I had a business that I do business with, and I have their app, So I was ordering something from their app, and I've done it before, not a big deal. It's just real simple, just a couple little steps. I'm pretty tech savvy for my age, you know what I mean? Almost 60 here in a couple weeks. But I work with computers, and that's what I do for a living, and I have for many years. So you know, it's a pretty simple app, and it's a pretty simple step to take. Just a couple of steps. So I did all that, right? And then they want that 6 digits, authorization code. They want to call you or text you. And for some reason, they didn't have my mobile. They have my mobile number, but it's not the first number. It's not the primary. So all they can do is call me because it's my landline, right? So I'm like, okay, call me. And they give me the number. I punched in a number. They said, thank you. We need more info. Call this number. And I'm like, what do you need more info? I just give you all the info. There wasn't much to it, right? So I did it again. I thought, well, maybe I didn't punch in the number right. It said thanks, though. It should have given me an invalid number. But anyway, I went through the process again. And I'm not easily frustrated. I'll be honest with you, the thing that frustrates me the most is technology. And even though I deal with it all the time, and we all do, but man, it gets frustrating when things don't work like they should. And so, anyway, I go back through the process a couple times, getting frustrated. I give it a break. Took a break, went back to it, walked through the steps again. Still asking me after it gives me that 6 digit code for the third time now, right? Okay. Uh, I put that thing in. Still wants me to call the number. I think I did it. I did it at least 4 times. I think I did it 5, honestly. And so so anyway, I called the number, right? And I actually called the number twice because I called it after about the second time, I think, and it just acted like because I thought, well, if it's wanting more info, it's going to know that I've punched all this in, and when I call it, it's going to prompt me and say, okay, here's what we need from you. No, it didn't do that. It's like, what are you calling us for? And they go through this whole spiel. Of course, it's all recorded and everything. So I done that once. And that's when I got frustrated. I hung up, called back later, and so anyway, again, I'm just having to walk through this whole thing again. They have no idea why I'm calling. I need your number. I need all this stuff. Let me verify your name and whatever. So anyway, I get somebody on the phone. I wasn't sure, a guy or girl. I really wasn't sure, honestly, but that didn't matter. But anyway, I got them on the phone, right? And they're very nice, very cordial. And I said, I've tried to do this thing about 4 or 5 times on the app, and it's not letting me do it. And it keeps wanting me to call this 800 number. Okay, so here I am. And so they're like, okay, Mr. Williams, let's look and see what you got. So they go through and they're and they ask me some more questions and I tell them what I'm wanting again. And they're like, oh, you've got to do that on the app. And I said, I know, but I just told you I did that about 5 times now and it didn't work. Okay, well, I understand your frustration and the urgency to get this done. Okay, all right. Well, hang on. Let me just do that for you. I'm like, okay. So anyway, they did it for me. All right, and everything, and it was a fairly quick conversation once I got them on the phone. I really wasn't on hold or much anything like that. It was just the whole process in general should have taken a few seconds, and it took several minutes out of my day that I just didn't want to spend doing that. I guess you know how it is. Our time is valuable, and so anyway, at the end of the call, they said, "Hey, would you do me a favor?" And I thought, well, they're going to ask me to, fill out, do a survey after the call because that's what they usually ask about. And if you could just answer a few questions and about your, service here today, and that'd be great. Appreciate it. Help us out a lot. But anyway, that's not what they asked. I got one favor to ask you. And I said, okay, what is it? And they said, could you smile for the rest of the day? And of course, I smiled at that point. I may not have been smiling earlier, and they could probably tell. You know what I mean? And because I've had people tell me, because I do support myself, and I've gotten a few when I get a 5-star rating, you know, and they'll say I could hear him smiling on the other end. You know, I could tell he was smiling. So I think that was cool. But anyway, so I smiled then, but it was like it kind of caught me. You know, they got me a little bit. It was like, okay, man, I got it. You know, I wasn't smiling. I need to smile more today, you know, for sure. And so it was kind of cool, you know, and it was kind of funny. But, you know, some days, you know, just like that stuff right there, you know, we let it get to us. And it's such a little thing, you know, like today it doesn't matter. Matter of fact, as soon as I got it taken care of, it didn't matter. You know, I wasn't frustrated anymore once I got fixed what I was trying to do anyway, you know. So we get frustrated a lot of times quickly, easily, maybe not mad and firing mad and fighting mad, ready to throw something or hit somebody or something like that, but just frustrated, aggravated with situations. And so it was one of them situations. And I had a few things this week that have been kind of like that, just kind of, you know, aggravating to deal with, you know. And, you know, if we think about it, we have so much to smile about, you know. Think of some things you got to smile about. And you may, depend on what kind of day you're having, if you're feeling lonely, if, you know, if you're widowed, you're a widower, you divorced, you're single, you're living alone, whatever you got going on in your life. And you could be married and feel lonely. You could be married and feel, you know, down. I mean, you know, it's not just because of us, you know, that are single. We can feel down, frustrated, maybe feel like we don't have anything to smile about. But I can promise you, the list is huge. If you sit down and really think about it, you know, I'm thankful for my bed every night. I love my bed. I'm thankful for, you know, air conditioning in the summertime and heat in the wintertime. I'm thankful for a roof over my head, for a car. You know, I was having some issues with my car this week, and now it's working, and I'm thankful for it. I was thankful for it when it was broke down a little bit too, but I say a little bit. I was thankful for it, but I was just, yeah, I'm more thankful now that it's up and running, of course, you know, and but still thankful that I have a car, you know, and thankful for my house, thankful for my friends, thankful for this community of YouTubers, and I appreciate all the comments and everything like that too. I just wanted to mention that, but thankful for my neighbors, thankful for my kids, for my family, for my job, just so many things. The list just goes on and on. We can just be thankful for little things, thankful for our health. And you say, well, my health's not that great. Well, but you're still breathing, you know, you got that going. I mean, there's always something, you know. We can always find something wrong too, don't get me wrong. We can always find something to complain about, there's no doubt. But if we made a list of complaints and made a list of our true blessings, and we were honest about both, you know, things that are really wrong in our lives, I mean, really wrong, I believe that list would be a lot smaller than that blessing list, and that list that could make us smile and be joyful. So I hope that your list, and I hope you're smiling today, by the way. Maybe this will make you smile. I don't know. Maybe the hat will make you smile. I didn't wear my Flaherty Hawaiian shirt tonight, or shirts, one of those tonight, but I'll try to get those. Some of them's in the dirty clothes, you know what I mean, the laundry. So, but anyway, hopefully you have something to smile about tonight. And I know you do, but hopefully you're already smiling before this video. But if not, I hope you'll think about some of the things that's in your life that you have to smile about, and be thankful for. You know, we can compare ourselves to other people. I don't recommend doing that. Sometimes it's okay to look and say, man, I really got it made. And there are times when that's okay. You know, you just don't want to look at other people and go, oh, I'm better than they are. Don't ever do that. But you can look at other people. There's always somebody that's got something worse going on than you do. There's always somebody that's got something better going on than you do too. So I don't recommend comparing yourself to other people. But sometimes we can get really down on ourselves, or really down on our situation and our circumstances, and think we've just got it. You know, it's the worst. And so sometimes in those situations, it's kind of okay to look at somebody else and go, well, you know what, I don't have it quite that bad, you know. And so, you know, I think just keeping in mind what we have to be thankful for, and having that attitude of gratitude, you know, even when our app doesn't work right and we have to, you know, call support and go through some things that we don't want to have to deal with, we can still smile, you know. And I think they could tell I wasn't smiling on the other end. I wasn't hateful or anything. I wasn't rude to them, but I think they could tell that I wasn't, you know, as joyful as I could be. And so, anyway, hopefully my rest of my day was good. It made me smile anyway. So I tried to think of that, and I'm going to try to think of that every day. Actually, when I get, you know, something gets to bother me, I'm going to be like, I'm going to smile the rest of the day. So I hope you're smiling today. If not, I hope you start smiling right now. Think of all the things you got to be thankful for. And again, I'm thankful for you guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in. If you could give us a thumbs up on this, subscribe to us if you would, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks.